The annual Nigeria Prize for Science, endowed by Nigeria LNG Limited to recognize outstanding scientific achievements by Nigerians and non-Nigerians for advancing scientific solutions to prescribed problems, has unveiled the theme for this year's competition, Innovations in Sustainable Food Security. The Nigeria Prize for Science winner will receive an award of $100,000. This year's competition is open to scientists worldwide who are involved in the application of science to proffer innovations in sustainable food security. Now joining us to discuss the importance of this year's competition is Professor Barth Nnaji, Chairman, Advisory Board for the Nigeria Prize for Science. Professor Nnaji is a former Minister of Power and founder and chairman of Geometric Power, and will be talking to us about the current state of Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry and on his independent power plant in Abia State. Good morning, Prof. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Yes, thank you very much.
Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. I think the last time we saw was 2015.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, wow, that's
It's been quite a while.
It's been a while.
Anyway, very quickly, let's start with Nigerian LNG.
Yes.
I think Nigerian LNG has been doing a lot for literature and science. And now to hear the prize for this year is $100,000.
Oh, yes.
That's a lot. So if you could just take us through the significance of the prize and the choice of a topic about food security, sustainable food security.
Yes, thank you very much. The NLNG Prize for Science is a very significant one in that what it does is that it places something that people should aim at, that the scientists to create an oasis of research and development and pursuit of excellence. That's what NLNG has done. There is no other prize like that except for Nigerian National Merit Award. The Nigerian National Merit Award is the government one, and which is really quite a significant one. But this particular one is a prize where scientists in various areas of research can aim to get something that says we have achieved. And it's a global prize. It's not just for Nigeria. Any scientist in the world can participate. But we've begun to change it from just being pure scientists to also innovators. Because, if someone has an app, for example, that solves a problem, then the person should be part of those considered for getting the prize. So now this year, what we are looking at is innovations in food security. So what are those things that you can enable the country to have sustainable food security? For example, if you produce tomato would go bad after a short while. But if there is a way to preserve a tomato, then that is also sustainability. You get products from various parts of the country, and they are not preserved. What can you do to ensure that? What are the sort of new products that you can have in agriculture that will ensure that the product, the crop, or the animal product is better? And these are the sort of things that we are looking at. And so scientists, innovators that are able to compete and show their prowess. Those are the things, the people that we want to see.
Wow. Would-be competitors would do well to note that no prize was awarded last year. There were 49 entries and none met the high bar that was set, and not for the first time. So can you take us through the sort of criteria, the kind of quality that you're looking for?
Yes. First, the individual or the group, it's a group or individual, they should be able to have, they should have developed the innovation to a point where it has impact. Impact is critical. Can you demonstrate that what you're doing has impact in society? Because if it doesn't have impact, then it doesn't have meaning in the lives of Nigerians. And it's very important that we understand that or the product has to have real meaning in the lives of our people here, and that's critical. So if it doesn't, and there's no way to demonstrate it, then the price cannot go to the individual. So there are people who have achieved narrow success in the research, but it is really just very narrow, doesn't have demonstrative indication that it can impact the lives of our people. So we don't recognize such. And so in the last year's competition, there was no such no such competitor that has shown the sort of thing that we're looking for.
Right. So personally, it's a pleasure meeting you and a privilege. I think it's very apt that you're on this, Chairman Advisory Board for this, because you see, you were sort of like the poster child for what science should be in the 90s. And that was when you served in that, short interim government as Minister of Science and Technology. A lot of people said it was going to create a platform to have more Barth Nnajis of that sort. But we're falling short of that goal now. The question is, how can we use this prize as a springboard to have more Barth Nnajis?
Yes, actually, you're 100% correct that you need something that people can look to as a springboard. Some young people should be able to say, this person or this group won this prize. Maybe that's what I should look for. It could be in energy, it could be in any kind of endeavor. It could be in transportation, it could just be in anything, okay? Because we're not limiting ourselves to a particular area. But research is research, basic research. Our people don't pursue a basic research as such. People, even academicians, going to universities and they want to have posts. They don't want to do basic research. I come from the environment where I like to be in the trenches. I didn't like to be a major university administrator, but I liked to do basic research, and that's what got me to where I am. And so when I was Minister of Science and Technology, what I said is, how can I get my country to understand that when you go from basic research, you go to technology, and then from technology, you have commercial products, and the commercial products have impact in the lives of our people. That's really what it's supposed to be about. So what NLNG has done, and is doing, is to say, let us put up this price as a beacon. Let people look at it. The price is big enough. $100,000 is no small amount in any environment. And let us say, if you can do research that should have impact in the lives of our people, you can win this prize.
Well, Prof.
But one other thing that they are doing, they have some of the other things they're doing it quietly. Support for research labs in universities to also encourage the scientists in the universities to be able to produce this sort of research, knowing fully well that we have not gotten the sort of research support coming from government to produce innovations. So they're also doing that, but quietly.
Well, Prof, I guess, we can't have you here and everything we'll discuss will be Nigeria LNG and price for science. We'd like to talk about power. Okay. This morning, we talked about the Minister of Power, Aliyu, talking about certain developments in the power sector, about right of way, about how we don't have enough electricity because it's the dry season and all of that. Now, you were not just Minister of Power, you also invested in an independent power plant around 2012, 2014, the geometric power plant in Abia State. What exactly do you think has gone wrong with the electricity sector reform program? And you were part of that. What exactly has gone wrong?
Well, I'll come to address this question, but just in terms of what we've built in Aba, what we built in Aba is an integrated power project of which a power plant is part of. So, matter of fact, we have the fuel stock gas pipeline. We have our own gas pipeline to supply to the power plant because you need to have reliable fuel supply. We also have, in that, we have improved the distribution infrastructure. It's critical that you have that, the distribution infrastructure. And then the collection efficiency. So now, back to what's your question. What we set out to do in the reform is to ensure that the distribution companies achieve reduction in losses, average technical collection and commercial losses, ATC and C. And the bidding done was not about let us who bidded the highest for the asset itself. The asset had a fixed value, and everybody would get the fixed value. But the bidding was on reduction of losses. Those losses would mean you have to invest massively in the infrastructure that is clearly dilapidated in the country. Everybody knows that. So you have to have financial capacity and technical capacity. So the whole essence of privatization was you need to have, if you're going to buy the asset, you should have financial capacity and technical capacity. So if you now miss that, then you've missed the point. And as you know very well, I left before that was concluded.
The second question?
Well, I mean, there was a second thing that I asked you about what went wrong with the reform process.
Yeah.
You don't want to answer that?
I've answered it.
Okay, let's go back to the tribe.
You should answer whether the people who took over the assets have the financial capacity and technical capacity. And the reason why I talked about Aba is that we have invested massively. In matter of fact, for each dollar value of the asset itself that we acquired, we've invested more than $8 to improve the asset. So what you have to check is those who purchased the assets, how much investment has been made to improve the asset. Because that's really where you begin to talk about reduction of losses. You need to have investment in the power infrastructure. You need to have investment in collection system. You need to have meters. The meter is the agreement between the consumer and the supply of electricity. It's just a very simple calculus. Right. So if you don't have meters, then you're going to be doing estimated billing. You're going to be arguing with your customer. And so we have done that. We're doing that in Aba. And that's really what it requires. And that's what we expect should be done nationwide.
So in about a few minutes that we have left, two questions based on what you just said. So regarding Senator Gabriel Suswam's bill that's passed second reading in the Senate, so what you're saying is that it's not really a legislative solution. It's more operational to do with investment. I just want that clarification.
You have to have the investment.
Yeah. So the second question, what should people do who are interested in entering the competition? How do they go about it? The prize for science, that $100,000 prize for science.
Well, it's wide open. It's quite wide open. They need to submit their proposal. NLNG Secretariat is going to advertise this. So they should go on the website, get and fill out the entry. It's a fairly straightforward and transparent process. And then we have 3 judges. The advisory board set up a panel of judges, and these judges are going to evaluate. We don't say who the judges are. So the judges will now make recommendation to the advisory board and thereby NLNG. That's how it works. So it's nearly a half-year process. By the 3rd quarter of this year, we should know who has won or which group won.
Thank you so much for that. Real quickly, there's been a back and forth as regards the electricity bill. And recently the National Assembly said it will be best, and they voted for it, it will be best to have states run electricity. I mean, what's your take on all of that?
I actually, if you look at the way the EPSTRA was structured, it did not exclude states. So a state, a matter of fact, if you look at it, the 4 power, which is the South-South states, they acquired Port Harcourt Distribution Company. We saw that they should be able to do it. So states can do it. Now that you look at the distribution companies, they're too bulky. So you can still have subdivision of the discos. But the disco owners have to agree to basically disaggregate the discos so that it becomes possible, manageable. So I think also if the states are participating, it will help because the governors can take interest in their own states and also be part of improving the network. If you really look at the rural networks, typically it's either state governments or the local governments that invest in the network. And so they will do more if they are part owners. And actually, we wanted them to be part owners. It's just that in the end, it didn't work out that way.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Prof. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
We hope that people will participate in the Nigerian LNG Prize for Science.
We look forward to it.
Thank you very much.